1, 2, 3, 4. Think you can stop what we do? I doubt it. We got the energy. I'll tell you all about it. And I searched for my spark and I found it. Now everybody in the crowd straight bouncing.
The show about life, love, and labor, hosted by the couple that works, plays, and stays together most of the time. My name is Kellie.
What? Is there something I don't know?
And that's SP, and he's about to leave me for 5 days.
That's true. Context is key there. Yes, I'm SP, and happy season 5, everybody.
Happy season 5.
I was like, we're almost at the 1 year too, but we have to save that. Next year is our 1 year.
Next week is what he meant to say.
Next
year.
week is our 1 year podcast anniversary. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about season 5 right now, baby.
Season 5.
Congratulations. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot how we decided to break up the seasons. I think originally it was like 10 episode seasons, and then it became 20, and then we had hardly holidays.
Who knows?
And we've literally done 80 episodes, and that doesn't really break down into 4 complete seasons plus a 5th.
That's okay, though.
Who knows? But happy season 5. Wanted to say a few things. Obviously, thank you for being with us if it's your first episode or millionth episode. But we were talking about this.
Here.
Like church pads?
Yeah.
So I want to just ask you this question. Keep going with the pads. When you think about your life and how much better it is without this podcast. All right, no more church pads.
Okay.
No, we're just thinking about season 5 and what it's going to look like as we keep going with the show. And we're talking about maybe taking what we used to do with Hardly Working Through It and making it its own separate show. It wouldn't be on this feed. It would be its own show. It would be a show that would be shorter, probably like a half hour.
Something like that.
It would not necessarily be, I wouldn't say it would be explicit in the sense that it's going to be, I don't know,
it's just more
inappropriate, but it's more free flowing.
Yeah, it's more about our personal thoughts versus let me entertain you.
Yeah, we've talked to a lot of people who have been enjoying those more like I wouldn't say heartfelt, but like us basically going through our baggage and trauma.
Yeah.
And we don't always want to lay that out on Hardly Working. So we're thinking about making Hardly Working Through It a separate thing. And if that's interesting to you, hit us up on any of our socials at It's Hardly Working, Instagram and TikTok. And let us know if that would be appealing, because we're going to start putting that together here soon.
Yes.
But until then, it is season 5, and you've had a fun week. You kind of got the VIP treatment on Thursday or Friday.
I was like, what did I do?
Oh yeah. You're kind of a big deal. What happened this week for you?
I got to have a VIP experience at NBC Universal in the back lot. So I have a friend that just started working at NBC Universal as an events manager.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, we were like, you want to hang out? She's like, yeah. I found out she had an office. I was like, oh, I want to come see your office. You know me, I'm over the top. I'm like, what can I bring? What do you need? Let me add to your office. Like, you can think of me, but also I love you. So
did you bring her a plant to put behind a chair?
No, she had tons and tons of plants. So I got her a gift card so she could go get
more plants.
What she needs, which is like a mirror, which I knew. I was like, she's going to want a mirror, but I don't want to pick out her mirror.
No.
Let her pick out her mirror because I want her to like it.
We give that mirror that we haven't put anywhere.
No, we could have, but no. But she was like, yeah, like come on down, meet me at the studio. I'll get you. I'll put your name on the list. You can come see my office. We'll go grab some drinks or dinner afterward. And I was like, great. She's like, I have a golf cart, so I'll come pick you up. I was like, cool. Like, yes, let's do this. So Ashley May and I went. Just
so you know, something about having a golf cart, that communicates status to me.
Yeah.
You could drive a Porsche. You could have a Gucci bag. But if you drive around in a golf cart, that's more impressive to me.
Yes. Yeah. So Ashley May and I get there. We get to the NBC Universal lot. Our name's on the list. We get to go inside and park. We're like, cool, awesome, great. We come out. I'm like, oh, there's Studio 3. Great, awesome, amazing. They're filming something over there. That's pretty cool. Stay here. Don't get in trouble. Here comes Dana whipping around in her little golf cart. And she's like, come on in. So we get in and we're like, okay, we're going to like, I knew we were going to drive by like the studios, you know, because that's like normal, but they're big buildings. For those who like, they're not like,
you can't like
see inside.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a big building. That's a Studio 3, Studio 12, whatever. So I figured we'd do that and then go to her office. Well, we stop off. She shows us the new place that they have at NBC Universal. It's called The Commons, where they like eat their food. It's their new event place. We got to go see the new theater they built, which is beautiful. Smells new. Smells like brand new, like IKEA new. So that was really cool. And I was like, that was cool. Like not many people get to do that. That's awesome. Then I'm like, okay, now we're going to go see your office. This is a really long story. We're driving, and she goes, my office is right over there, but let's go this way. And all of a sudden I see the trams that you take if you go to Universal Studios in Hollywood. They do trams that take you through the back lot. And I was like, these are trams. And I was like, are we going in the tram route? And she's like, yeah. I was like, are we going to go see some of like the facades? And she's like, duh.
Did you say it like that? The facades?
No, I didn't. But she's like, duh. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so we start driving in our little golf cart down Wisteria Lane.
What is that?
From, oh my goodness.
Gilmore Girls.
No.
That's a WB show. Oh, God. Wisteria
Desperate
Lane.
Housewives. From Desperate Housewives, Wisteria Lane. Like we went down there.
I didn't know it.
We start driving into the Good Place.
What?
Which is like a big deal for me. I was really excited about it. I got to sit in the yogurt and take a picture.
So fun.
And like so fun. Drive there. Went to like this other place that I was like, this only poor scenes are filmed here. And by that I mean it's like those big walls, you know, that are just like they look like dirty and old. And I'm like, this is where they film like old school, like think like Les Mis and like, you know, we're all like
I had a dream of a dream where I was dreaming.
Yes, but we got to drive there. We drove through all the different ones, and we got to like we're on a golf cart, so we got to like park it and like get out and like walk around.
Wait a minute,
like,
you're on a golf cart?
Yeah, we're on a golf cart the whole time.
You know, golf cart communicates status to me. When I think golf,
you did say that. We also got to drive by Back to the Future, like that whole space. They have the
clock tower.
But the car is there. The DeLorean is there.
Yeah,
because for the 60th anniversary right now.
Right.
So it was really, really fun. The only street we didn't get to go down was New York because they were currently filming on that street, and The Voice was also filming. So we did like drive around trying to look for Kelsey Ballerini. Didn't see her.
No.
But the next day she was at Universal with her boyfriend. That was a bummer.
How do you know that?
Because Dana knew it. Dana's a huge Kelsey Ballerini fan. So she's just hoping, waiting for the day that she's going to run into her organically. Anywho, but it was a really, really cool experience. And then we were like, hey, where do you guys want to go grab a bite to eat? And we were like, well, what about City Walk? It's right here. To which I then go, well, like, can we walk to it? Like, how far is it? Or do we have to like drive and go park? And Dana was like, we'll just drive the golf cart and we'll park behind and like get right in. And I was like,
get in the whip.
What? And so we did. We drove all the way up to Universal City Walk. We parked behind. We got checked in, went and ate, and then drove back in the golf cart. It was so fun. So fun.
That is a wild time. There was I don't think I said this to you. You were out there for a long time.
Yeah. I didn't truly, I just didn't know what to expect. I really thought we'd be like I said, we'd like drive around like the studios, go see her office and go eat. But we drove around in the golf cart for probably an hour to an hour and a half. And it was so fun.
It was getting late to the point where I was like, let me see where this chick is at. And I opened up your location, and it was the bubble kept like moving. It was like move. And you were going around the back lot.
That's
it was like
was
these little teeny streets.
Cart.
You're like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, she's having a blast.
I was having a blast. It was really fun.
You did come home and say like, I had the best time.
It was so fun. Well, yeah. And it was, and like, there's, like you said, there's something about being on a golf cart. It's different than being in a car, but it was almost, it's like, you know, we were like having like girl talk and like just talking about life. And I was like, how fun is this? And so I even said it. I was like, I'm coming back every month. Anytime you have me, I'm coming back. She's like, yes, please. So like, just, you know, just maybe being in a golf cart, driving around, being able to talk. And we all said it too that night. Like, it's weird to have grown up in Los Angeles because you just grow up in Hollywood. Like, it's just like a thing. But to be that close to like the studio, like things were being filmed as we were driving around.
Might be literally the only place things are being filmed in LA/Hollywood.
Yeah, and everything's about to be back. She was saying everything's going to be like the season's off, so everything's coming back.
Oh yeah, to film new seasons and stuff.
Yeah, but like it was just really fun. I was like, this is so cool to be so close, and like I'm also in the industry, and so like I'm never going to be disrespectful or like crazy, and so I can be close and like be excited about it. But it was also crazy. I was like, Glenn Powell was here like 3 days ago. Like truly taking pictures in Wisteria Lane from Twisters.
What?
Glenn Powell.
Colin Powell? Who's Glenn Powell?
Is that not his name? That's
I
his
don't
name.
know. How do you know his name?
He's the new lead in Twisters with Anthony Ramos. You know what I'm talking about?
You know, Twister's not super high up on my list of
I know he
movies
was
to
also
see,
in that movie with Sydney Sweeney, who for some reason you don't like, called Anyone But You or something like that recently came out. He's like the new It Man.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. I read this. I took a screenshot because I was going to talk about it and like make a thing out of it, but I decided not to until you mentioned seeing things shoot. I screenshotted this article that was film and TV production down 40% in the U.S. compared to 2022. 40%.
It's a lot, but things are being filmed.
Things are being filmed.
Things are happening.
But it's like there was another article about how few shows are being actually shot here in Los Angeles, which makes me think like, are people going to keep moving to Hollywood and stuff to make it big?
Probably not.
Like, what's the point? You can do it from your house anywhere in the world now. Anyway, I too went to a studio.
Oh, yeah, on the same day, which I thought was hysterical.
We're just some studio industry
What studio did you go
now.
to?
Oh, you know, Walt Disney Studios and Marvel Studios, ended up in Lucasfilm's building. So I went to Walt Disney Studios, and I don't think I've talked about this on the show, but when this drops, I will be driving to San Diego. Because I'm going to be one of the hosts.
Beautiful San Diego.
San Diego. One of the hosts for Marvel Studios at Comic-Con this year. So that'll be really fun. One of the things I get to do, which is on the schedule now, is I got to try out the Apple Vision Pro, which I have never done.
Yeah, we have an Oculus Quest, but...
Yeah, we have it's called a Meta Quest.
Oh, we have an Oculus.
Yeah, Meta. It's not Oculus.
It's not Oculus at all?
No, it's just Meta Quest.
Oh, we have a Meta Quest.
Because Meta bought it, yeah.
But it'd always be Oculus in my heart.
Exactly. So when you're searching for the app on your phone, you'll never find it.
Is it not called Oculus at all anymore?
Nope.
Dang.
It's gone. But anyway, on the Apple Vision Pro, which I had never used, and it was awesome, 5 stars out of 5 for those keeping score, I got to play the... the What If game, which is like the Avengers Marvel What If game, which is literally like being inside an episode of fun. What If. There was, I asked if I could talk about it and if I was spoiling anything. And they're like, no, it's been out since the end of May. Like, you're not really spoiling anything. But so I feel like I could say this. But there's like, I think it was 3 different like missions I went on. And I was in it face on, as I say, as Jeff Kanata says, for an hour. So I had the headset on for a straight hour and it was awesome. Very comfortable. But you jump into different like things that are happening and you're collecting the Infinity Stones.
Were people watching you while you played this game?
Yeah, for 3 people were standing there not just watching me in the room, but also looking at what I see on the iPad.
The pressure. I would hate that.
It was I think the hardest thing for me was figuring out how jokey to be about it. Because these are also the people who created that game.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say anything that's, rude. Not that there's anything to be rude about, but sometimes you say something like, well, that looks ridiculous, or, and it's like, oh, well, that's the animator, so thanks. That didn't happen. But they were watching me. Occasionally I could see them because it has this like pass-through thing where if there are people, it'll kind of like gently show you them. Mm-hmm. So it was interesting. At the end, they were like, we loved your reactions. Because at some point, I was like, I'm just going to be me. Yeah. And so I started like responding to the characters and talking with them and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. They're like, only you can defeat so-and-so. I was like, this is my first day on the job. I don't really know what you expect from me. Yeah. And so they had a good time. I had a good time. And I get to do a panel over there talking to my buddy Dave, actually, who brought me into my first convention hosting experience with Marvel back in 2017.
Dang.
That was D23. So he's going to be up there and a couple other people. We're going to talk about that. And there's lots of other stuff, but I won't get into the Comic-Con details too much. We won't even talk about it next week when we're done because that's our 1-year anniversary episode. But the week after that, I'll tell you all the details and all the fun that we had. Did you hear that too?
Yeah.
It sounded like our ALEXA just said something.
I know. It was very loud. Sounded like it was in the room, but it definitely wasn't. Anyway.
Maybe it was Miss Minutes, who, spoilers, was also in the game. It was pretty cool. Oh, it was a lot of fun. It's the trickiest part, though, is that it's only on the Apple Vision Pro. And that headset, which this is nothing to do with Marvel, this has everything to do with Apple. That headset's like $3,500. Yeah. So the barrier to entry even to get that experience is very high. So that's the only bummer, is that more people won't have easy access to it because not everybody can get their hands on it.
Yeah, I would have liked to have played it.
It is very fun.
I'll
make some calls.
Just kidding.
I'd like to get you into Comic-Con instead.
I know, that'd be fun.
That? But you can't because you're so busy with your walkthroughs and your tours of VIP places.
No.
I know. Anyway, that was kind of the only thing. That was big things this week. It was fun. And like I said, we got big things coming up with Comic-Con and other stuff like that. But I don't think there's anything else to hit on before we jump into like the show proper. Unless you can think of something that I missed. Don't sign your kids up for
I know we talked about this last week, and I know we don't need to talk about it every single week.
What?
I don't know what you said because I didn't hear it.
I said, don't sign your kids up for gymnastics.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's talk about that. Not really.
But we have almost 8,000 followers on TikTok. And one of our videos is at 6.4 million views, which is crazy to me that 6.4 million people have listened to us and also either think that you're the best catch ever or that you're gay. It's great.
Hey, it's not mutually exclusive. It could be both.
But yeah, it's just a crazy thing for me to think about that many people have like seen our faces and listened to us. And thank you to everyone that said I have a Julia Roberts laugh. It's reframed the way I view my laugh because I don't necessarily like the way I sound. And so to hear that, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll laugh more. I'm just kidding. That was fake. Sorry.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll talk more about like the numbers and those kind of things on our 1 year, that one, in next week. Yeah. But I'm wondering if you want to talk a little bit about the experience you're having in the comment section of some of these videos. Because you mentioned that one of our videos has 6.5 million. The other one's got 2.5 or something million. And we've had over almost 10 million views. And we just started the account 3 weeks ago.
I know, it's crazy.
So it's a lot all at the same time. We'll talk about those things later. How are you doing when somebody says something mean about me or about you?
About you, I care less, but mostly because you care less. Like I've asked you, and most of the comments are all the same.
Who's gonna tell her?
Yeah. Which you were like, I don't care, and I was like, okay, if you don't care, then I don't feel the need to.
My therapist, though, she thought it was rude.
Yeah, somebody said something. What was it? Somebody made a comment, and I commented back, and they then deleted their comment. I wasn't mean. I just said, what does that even mean?
I can't remember.
I can't remember what it is now, but it was something. When it's about me, I can tell I'm a little bit more sensitive.
Oh yeah, it was a woman, and she was like, basically implying that because I know so much about women that I lack something in the bedroom in terms of satisfying my wife.
You must be making up for something. And I said, what does that even mean? And then within seconds, she had deleted her comment. I was like, maybe she thought I wouldn't see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, what does that mean? And then I had another one. That one was hard for me, where someone kind of body shamed me.
Yeah.
And you deleted it, which was great.
Yeah, I usually don't do that, but this video didn't have
really
a lot.
Hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It was like the one comment. We had just put up the video. It was like one comment.
Yeah.
The top one, and I was like, "It's really mean."
Yeah, people are
particularly because I'm struggling with
how you feel,
how I feel in my body right now.
Yeah, which is a totally normal process to go through.
But
the internet doesn't care.
No.
The internet is,
and normally I have a thicker skin, but I was sensitive this week. So
yeah, it's interesting. With the thousands of people have called me gay over the last 2 weeks. It has not bothered me. But it's interesting, and I talked to my therapist about this a little bit. It's weird because, first of all the women are like, he's great. Either you've taught him well or he's had a lot of sisters growing up. I only had one sister. She's great. So that's what all the women say. Or they go, this guy's a major green flag. And then all the dudes are like,
who's going to tell her?
Turn in your man card. You shouldn't know this stuff. Who's going to tell? He's gay.
It's because...
But I'm like, these dudes are kind of self-owning themselves. They're like, to know and care about women's lives makes you gay. Yeah. I'm like, do you understand how dumb that sounds?
Yeah. Yes.
And they're still using gay as a pejorative thing as well, as if it's bad or wrong to be that, which I don't know. It's crazy to live in 2024.
It's crazy.
And still have people use that as a pejorative, negative thing and as like an insult.
Yeah. It's been a very weird experience, but like, we just don't care. And for the beginning portion of it, a lot of our responses to that were like, oh, she already knows.
Yeah, just like joking around. But here's where I fell with that specifically. Mm-hmm. Look, all the women in the comment section are being so nice and they're on my side. All the men are crapping all over me. I must be doing something right in the world. Because you know what? I would hate if it was the opposite.
For sure.
Truly.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
For sure. And there's more women that are saying it than men anyway.
Because
men are lame.
Anyway, we'll talk more about some of that stuff next week on our 1 year. The whole thing I keep saying. Anyway, you ready to jump into some stories? We also just...
I know, I saw... She hates it. I know.
We won't put the photo up on the screen, but our kid is in surf camp, and turns out she does not like her wetsuit. That's so funny. But that's not for today. That is for after the show. Today we've got, honestly, I'm going to be real with you, Kel.
Yeah.
A lot of stories.
Okay, I'm ready.
But they're shortish. Remember last week? In fact, the last few weeks, there's been a lot of stories about people smuggling things or stealing things in pants. Yeah, Shim sent in like 100 snakes in someone's pants.
Instead of squirrels in your pants, snakes in my pants.
Squirrels in my pants. Some dude put 17 Pringle cans in his pants and tried to walk out of somewhere.
So weird.
So it just keeps coming up.
They should have combined forces. Put the snakes in the Pringle cans in the pants.
Right, and then it's like one of those gag like peanut jars or whatever you open and a whole bunch of snakes come out. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Terrifying.
Joke's on you. Those are real snakes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a few quick ones here. The first one is South Korea's airport authorities cracked down on Trader Joe's bagel seasoning. Have you heard about this?
No, but it makes sense because everyone loves everything but the bagel sesame seed. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a big deal.
Let me ask you, why do you think they would be cracking down on this?
I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with the sesame seeds.
You're close, and you're also dropping your phone.
It's cold.
You're close. It has to do with an ingredient that is not legal in South Korea. What could be in that seasoning?
I mean, everything but the bagel. So
it could literally be anything.
It could be anything.
This is a terrible question to ask me. Well, check this out. A popular U.S. food seasoning mix created for yummifying the tops of a bagel is the subject of intensifying crackdowns in South Korea, where poppy seeds
you know what's funny? I
are
was
banned.
going to guess poppy seeds.
Yeah.
I was going to say the poppy seeds maybe, but
they literally have it on like whatever their version of TSA is. There's a picture,
of it.
Of the seasoning in the airport that says, "Don't bring this in. Don't stinking do it."
It's expensive too, so if you buy it and it gets thrown away, oof.
At the airport, it says there's a sign that says in Korean, "We would like to inform you." I speak Korean, so I'm reading it in Korean.
Sure.
"We would like to inform you that the following products contain poppy seeds and are restricted from being brought into the country as whatever this is called. An ingredient of the poppy seed family is a narcotic substance under South Korea's narcotic drug control laws."
That's so weird.
But I grew up hearing that.
Yeah, if you have too many poppy seeds, you could be like, what is it?
You could test positive on a drug test or something.
It's crazy. How many poppy seeds do you have to have?
Right. And also, that only happened when like a friend at nutrition or recess was going to go get a poppy seed muffin. That's like the worst of the muffin choices.
Yeah.
It's bad. You should.
Sorry, my hair keeps getting caught on the microphone, so I apologize.
It's so beautiful and luscious today. If you're going to get a muffin, it goes blueberry, some type of like cranberry, orange cranberry.
Sure. Chocolate chip for me.
Chocolate chips in there, but it's kind of how I feel about pies and stuff too.
Yeah, banana nut is in there for me.
Banana nut is trash.
No.
Because the nuts screw it up every time. I don't know what they put on there, walnuts or something, but it takes over the whole flavor, and I'm not for it. It's not for me.
All right.
And then at the bottom is stuff like poppy seeds.
Yeah, I never eat the poppy seed ones.
Yeah, because that's just like eating a cornbread. I'm here for a fruity muffin.
Yeah.
Not a cornbread. Maybe those guys in the comment section are onto something. Never mind.
Fruity, because you're fruity.
I'm here for the fruit. Anyway, so that's the first of our weird stories about that. Next one, watch. There's a video, but we won't play it. Columbus police officer removes multiple rodents from legs of man's leopard onesie.
I'm sorry.
I know, and I didn't even say it well, so it's doubly confusing.
In like the airport?
I thought so, but it's not. It's just like on a park
got like arrested.
bench. Yeah, it's like on a bench. So Columbus police officer recovers multiple rodents from leg of man's leopard onesie. The reason I'm not going to show it is because it's
pretty intense.
It's pretty intense.
Why were they removing rodents?
Why were they removing rodents, or why were there rodents?
Like, did he steal them?
That's the assumption. Here's what it says. Columbus police officers took a man into custody after Tuesday morning made a surprising discovery. Quote, "There's multiple gerbils in his pants," one of the officers said. They arrested a 31-year-old man who had stuffed gerbils in the legs of his leopard print onesie, and inside the legs were two small animals. The officer grabbed one in each hand, which I thought was pretty bold. I don't think I would have the courage to do that.
No.
And whisked them away to safety. Next quote. The suspect has multiple gerbils in his pants. "Please don't tell me there's gerbils anywhere else," one officer says. And then he says, "For your safety, is there a gerbil inside of you?" another officer asked. No, there was not. But this dude, apparently stole these gerbils from the Petland store, wherever this place is, and put it in his pants.
So literally, squirrels in his pants.
Honestly,
Kind of.
not literally, but pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. It says all the hamsters and other animals released during the break-in, which he did, survived the encounter and were returned to the store. Do you think you have to sell those at a discount now, though? Like, are those gerbils?
Pants?
Yeah. Are they full price still?
Probably.
Or is it like when you sell a house that someone's died in, you have
why
to
the
declare
discounted? Can't tell you.
it?
They just are.
What does it say? Pants. What's pants discount?
Up to your discretion to understand what that means.
Keep them away from your trousers. Next one. They're all pretty quick. Canadian authorities confiscate 240 pounds of smuggled baby eels, worth $500,000.
Why?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I think
it's always animals.
Look, the gerbil dude was not trying to trade him on the black market. I'm willing to bet. He probably wanted a buddy or wanted to do something weird. I'm not here to judge.
Who knows?
I'm not going to yuck his yum. Maybe a little. This one is like black market stuff.
Okay.
Kind of. I think we talked about smuggling spiders at one point too, or something like that.
I don't know.
That may have been way early.
That one is like.
Yeah, I think I remember something about that though.
You would put them in like little petri dishes.
Or the dude who smuggled in or bought those illegal lizards.
Oh, yeah, and then it killed him.
Yeah, the lizard actually killed him. There's a reason these things are illegal, people.
100%.
There's a reason. So anyway, but this one was one of those situations. Baby eels might be slimy and slippery, but they're worth more than you could imagine. So in Canada, of all places, they confiscated 240 pounds of these baby eels, which are called elvers, E-L-V-E-R-S, elvers. They did it when someone was trying to cross the border. Border control got it, yada, yada, yada. It says, here we
yada,
go.
Yada, yada.
Considering that 1 pound of elvers,
Are these eels?
yeah, they're baby eels.
They're called elvers?
That's what they said.
All right.
1 pound of elvers can include anywhere between 2,000 to 4,000 elvers.
Dang.
And it says they're expensive, as the eels were expected to sell for between $400,000 to $500,000 on the black market.
Do you think they're sold to be eaten?
I know that they are,
Like on sushi?
because I read the articles.
Sometimes.
No, I always do.
Okay. Then what they're meant to be eaten?
I don't know.
Do they do something
I should have read it.
fancy?
Do they like give you some high or something?
Yeah.
No, they're just illegal. It says that they're really difficult to breed in captivity, so it makes it like hard to get. But they are used to be eaten. Let me see where it says that. Here we go. In many places around the world, people have rediscovered how good elvers actually taste. So good, in fact, that they're ready to pay around $100 for a small plate of baby eels.
Oh, the babies.
Depending on the location, elvers can be more costly than genuine beluga caviar. Ugh.
Gross, guys.
That sounds like
I'm
big
out.
eggs.
Any fish stuff, out.
So now we got people smuggling friggin'
Snakes,
eels.
Pringles, eels,
We should
iguanas.
have a list over my
lizards,
shoulder.
Maybe spiders.
Maybe.
Who
Certainly.
knows?
Certainly spiders. Anyway.
Everything but the seasoning. Everything but the bagel seasoning. Sorry.
They're not stealing it, but they are bringing it places they shouldn't.
You don't know.
I do remember reading something about that. Like, it's so popular out in, I'm assuming, South Korea because of the article, that they have to try to smuggle it in, which is hilarious that people are smuggling in seasoning.
You could probably make it. Just take the poppy seeds out, and then you could make it with everything else.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
To me,
the poppy seed doesn't add anything.
Yeah. Let's talk about this again. I'm not a big everything but the bagel seasoning person.
You liked it, though. We had it on something.
This is my wife,
recently.
20-year smoker.
You liked it, though. We had it on something recently.
Hey. Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, baby.
You were saying?
You were saying you probably wouldn't miss the poppy seed.
I don't think I personally wouldn't miss any of it. Because to me, eating a handful of that is like eating a handful of loose gravel. There's just too much in there. There's too much stuff.
It's not. Sorry.
The best part is no one could hear you laugh. So all it sounded like where you're like, How boring. But there's
I
too
definitely
much
was
stuff.
laughing.
There's too much stuff in there.
We had it on something recently though, and you liked it.
I doubt it was recently. But either way, you could take out some of the kitchen sink from that and not even notice it was gone. Because everything, it's like eating a thing of
He's
sand.
mixing two different things, but that's okay.
I'm mixing metaphors
Everything
here.
but the kitchen sink cookies. Everything but the bagel.
Those are trash
Seasoning.
too. Okay, so yes, we got one of those from Panera.
It was pretty good.
No, it wasn't. You know what it tasted like? It tasted like being at the checkout section of the grocery store, grabbing a handful of every candy you can get, ripping the bags open, shaking it everywhere, putting it in some cookie dough, and then eating it. You're like, well, that's a good cookie. What is that? Bubble yum that I'm tasting? Oh, wow. Toblerone, too? Oh, that's so good. Ooh, what's that? A Tic Tac? Oh, it's an Altoid. Like, you don't need all that stuff. I almost broke my watch just now because I was so heated.
Yeah.
You don't need all that stuff.
What do you just want? Just chocolate chips?
I'm a simple man.
Blueberry cookie? This doesn't exist.
No. Blueberry muffin.
Chocolate chip cookie?
Those are fine. Look, I understand I'm not a big cookie guy, but I also know that you can go overkill with things.
Sure.
I think the
Sure.
everything but the kitchen sink cookie is like the most American thing you can do. Except for, have you seen those like seafood towers that maybe it's like a Bloody Mary or something, but it has like lobster tails hanging out of it and like a whole fish? You haven't seen these?
I mean, I'm sure I have. I don't care about fish things.
No, I know, but you've still seen that they exist. And I heard they have everything but the bagel seasoning on them. That's just what I've heard.
Oh my God,
That's
not in
just
South
what I've
Korea.
heard. Not in South Korea. Speaking of unusual confiscated items,
What else?
this next one,
Add it to the list.
Denver Airport's most unusual lost and found items.
We were just there.
We were just there. Well, not just there. Anyway, so this one springboarded. It sprung me to another thought, but I'll start here. I love stuff like this. So apparently in Denver, in the airport, they get anywhere from like 150 to 200 lost and found items every single day.
Makes sense. It's a big airport.
Yeah, they said that the top 5 things are bags, IDs, glasses, electronics, jewelry, that kind of stuff. All the stuff that most people have to take out of their bags. But that's not where it stops. Other items are a bit more unusual, it goes on to say. The lost and found is currently holding on to a circular saw and a forklift battery.
For why?
I mean, somebody brought it. I don't know where they lost it, but it gets worse. This person said the department's past finds include elk meat, just random elk meat.
Yeah, I get it.
Urns.
Okay.
Maybe containing past loved ones.
How else do you get them home? Ship them.
You definitely don't leave them at the airport. That's not what's going to get them home.
That's true.
Dogs forgotten in the parking garage. Can you imagine that?
Leaving your dog behind? I don't think that's on accident.
But how caught up in your travel do you have to be like, Sparky's probably... What? Sparky! It's like Home Alone. Dennis! Is that his name?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, so that got me like thinking about other things because the article went on and it was like a survey of European hotels released early this year found some of the most unusual things. And I was like, well, I've got to look into that. So I did.
Okay.
We've been in our fair share of hotels.
Yeah.
Have you ever left anything behind that you know of?
Yeah.
What?
I was with my mom.
Like not like our dignity and stuff, but
no,
like
I left like a
actual
diamond necklace.
What? When was this? Was it yours or hers?
It was mine.
Does she know? Is this breaking news for her now?
It was mine that my mom had given me.
Does she know?
And I have matching earrings.
You guys, she's not answering the question.
She does know.
Okay.
And I think I just thought I had packed it or something. And I called and they were like, it's not there. And I was like, so the maid stole it.
No.
Or like didn't turn it in. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I just remember being like, oh, I didn't have that. I think I thought I packed it or I thought my mom had packed it or something.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bummer.
That is a bummer. When was that?
A couple of years ago. I truly couldn't tell you like where I was or what we were doing.
Because I feel like I would have heard about this if I knew you at the time.
We were together.
What? But you were at a hotel with your mom?
Yeah.
Without me?
Yes.
What other secret life do you
I don't know.
have?
It was like like we went somewhere for like a night or something. My mom and I did or something like that. I can't really remember. But yeah, it was a bummer. And I called and they were like, we don't have it anymore. It's like, dang it.
Oh, sad.
So there's that.
I've definitely left some things behind, cables, that kind of stuff on accident. Nothing major that I can remember. I did have my suitcase stolen out of my hotel room once.
That is true. San
by
Francisco.
a random person during the Super Bowl. That is a story for another time.
I always wonder if they thought you were someone different.
What do you mean?
Like they were in the CIA or some sort of
like something. They thought I was an important person?
Yeah. And they're like,
yeah. Let's make that story up.
I don't know.
Let's make that up.
Who knows?
Write that into a movie. No, I was nobody.
Watching too much Castle. Right now is what's happening.
Is it too much or is it all of it?
All of it.
Wow. In like the course of a week.
No, I've finished the last 2 seasons in the course of a week because I had already watched the rest of it. So now I'm starting over from the top.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. That's why I told you. I said I had watched seasons like 1 through 6.
Yeah.
And then kind of stopped. And so I was like, let me finish.
All right. That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to our new list, and it's the last thing on this topic.
Okay.
Left behind items at European hotels includes a certain amount of things, but I don't want to say them yet because we're going to go through them right now. They surveyed 100 European hotels in this certain network for their most bizarre and surprising items.
Okay.
The survey found multiple hotels ended up with dentures stored in the lost and found.
Yep.
Which I don't know why I'm like, that makes sense. Because how do you leave without your teeth?
Dentures.
I thought you were going to be like, well, dentures, but you're just with dentures.
Because they're older people who probably forget.
One hotel reported finding a full clown costume, complete with a wig and a red nose left behind in the room.
Someone has some kinky things.
It's either that or they might be serial killers.
Yeah, one or the other. Is there blood on there? Let's check.
Either way, kind of creepy.
Creepy.
Another hotel reported staff found thousands of old German mark coins stashed behind the water tank of the toilet.
That's very weird.
Why do you do that?
Are they worth a lot of money? They're German ones? Like, is that like...
Maybe. It could have been in Germany. I don't know.
True, but I go, that must be from like, from the Nazi era. Because
could be.
A lot of things from that time are like really expensive. Like worth a lot because they minted it a certain way or something like that.
Could be. The article mentions the German coins a couple times as well, so it's definitely possible. I have no idea.
Yes.
Goes on to say EasyJet Holiday said its 10 most unusual lost and found items were dentures, witchcraft paraphernalia.
What is that, like wands? Just kidding. It's probably like potions and stuff. Yeah.
Or I don't know. I thought like weird stuff made out of twigs.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like pentagrams out of twigs, some candles, some Ouija boards maybe.
No.
Probably. I bet kids or something will bring in a Ouija board. Who knows? This might be my favorite one. Prosthetic limbs. Who's leaving their whole leg? Yeah. Who's leaving the whole leg?
Somebody didn't want it anymore.
Someone stuffed it in the safe. They're like, that's
my the extra.
That's my sleeping leg. That's my spare leg.
Yeah.
It's inflatable.
Forgot it.
I'm so sorry. A glass eye.
That's also very odd.
Easier to lose because it doesn't function as an eye. If you walk out without your prosthetic leg, you're kind of wobbling.
Yeah.
If you walk out without your glass eye, you can still only see out of one eye. So that one I understand a little more. It goes on. A grandma's, quote, lucky teacup.
How do they know?
I don't know.
Their lucky teacup.
I don't know. Thousands of German marks, like I said, a clown costume, an inflatable boat.
For why?
I don't know. And the last two are caviar and rosary beads. Rosary beads make sense to me. Like, it's jewelry. You could easily forget it. What are you looking up?
I'm looking up German marks that we keep calling them.
M-A-R-K-S. Like
it's just currency.
Baja. But they don't currently use that currency because they're on the euro, right?
Yeah. How valuable is a German mark?
Your dad's kind of like a German mark. Like your family's German.
My dad is not German.
He's named Mark.
And my mom is the German one.
Is it German? All right. Give me the info.
I keeps calling them DEMs, but I don't think that that's a mark. So I'm asking, like, how valuable is it?
I bet it is. Oh man, we're really showing our ignorance here.
Is that
what they called the currency? Is that like USD?
So the
like US dollars?
Deutsche Mark was replaced by the euro. Its coins and banknotes remained in circulation, defined in terms of euros, until the introduction of euro notes and coins on January 1st of 2002. Can you still cash them in? No, they're obsolete. They do exchange them, but it doesn't tell me. How many German marks equal $1?
Sure.
Okay, this is just boring. I'm so sorry. I'm so curious.
I didn't want to say what we were all thinking.
But by March 1923,
yeah,
so this is a long time ago.
100 years ago, 101.
One US dollar was worth 20,000 marks.
Oh, so there's
they're
nothing.
like not worth anything.
Not even worth a penny.
Yeah,
20,000?
At the height of Germany's hyperinflation crisis in November, a dollar was worth 4,210,500,000,000 marks. That's a really big number. It has to be trillion. Yeah, over 4 trillion.
I don't know what you're saying.
So I don't think they're worth anything. So I think these people are like, it's heavy.
We're gonna stash it
in my luggage.
Toilet.
So just leave them here. Who
with
cares?
With the dentures and the dog.
Yeah. The dog will watch him. Old Sparky will watch him.
Sparky will watch him. Wow. I have one more story that's not even a story. But
all right, give me the non-story.
I knew you needed to hear it.
Okay, I'm ready.
I read it, and there's not really much to talk about.
I'm ready for the non-story.
Cybertruck, no match for the fury of hungry raccoons. The tagline is, other trucks get around this problem by not looking like a dumpster.
Yeah, but it looks like a dumpster.
So that's the only reason I brought that in. We don't even need to dig into it. I just
get it, raccoons. Get those stupid, ugly-looking Cybertrucks that people like, but they look dumb. I just want everyone to know, if you're driving a Cybertruck, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Even if no one can see you inside your car, you look like an idiot. They drive past us, and I go, that car looks fake.
I saw a video of a guy who was like, someone has to have seen this before, but the Cybertruck shaped exactly like the roof of a Best Buy.
It is.
And if you don't know what that looks like, just look it up. It's pretty spot on. It's pretty spot on. Anyway, had to let you know that because much like you, the raccoons have great taste in destroying Cybertrucks.
That's right. Are we ready for some unpop-a-pins?
Oh my glob, you said it. It is catching on. I'm making unpop-a-pins happen.
Sure. Unpop-a-pins.
All right, so the batch for today is a little bit more of some thinkers, some heartfelt pop-ins.
Okay.
Here's the first one. The phrase, I don't care who started it, is pretty stupid and unhelpful.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Stop it. I don't care who started it.
That's not how you would use that.
Well, here's what they say. It is stupid for a couple of reasons. First, when confrontations happen, it is very important to know who started / escalated the argument. Saying you don't care who started it is basically saying you don't care about the context regarding the situation. Secondly, when this phrase is used, especially with little kids, do they even ever stop arguing? Because the phrase doesn't actually solve the problem between the fighting factions. I just find it stupid. I think it is important who started it.
Yes.
Maybe not so much with kids. I mean, that too, but like, that's not my life.
You had me until we got to the kid part. Yeah, I agree. It is important who starts it, because who starts it should finish it. And by finish it, I mean they should be the ones that come back and apologize.
Oh, I thought we were like Highlander. There can only be one. Like, if you're going to start something, finish it.
No. In terms of kids, I don't care who started it. But we're going to talk about it. Like, that's how I feel. And
if we had multiple kids, I think we might have a different view on it.
Like, think about our daughter. If she got into a fight with her best friend, and she was like, and they were hanging out at our house, and they came and they were like, blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, I don't care who started it. Like, let's find out what.
Stop it.
Like, I don't need you to tell me who started it. Let's just talk about what happened.
Yeah.
And let's like solve the problem together and figure that out. So I do feel that way. What a weird phrase. I don't care who started it. I don't care who started it. But it matters, because you can't say that.
I don't care who started it.
Yeah, but let's bring it into context.
Okay,
World
give me the
War
context
II.
clues.
I don't care who started it.
Oh, jeez. That's the second World War II reference we've had today.
I know, but I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. I don't care who started it. Yeah, we care who started it.
We care.
It makes a difference, because you're the bad guy.
So we both disagree with this. Duh. Burning. Yeah, so, wait, no, we're saying, they said that they think it's stupid and not helpful. We're saying the opposite.
It matters who started it.
Yeah, so this person is wrong.
Well, saying I don't care who started it is wrong, so we agree with him.
No, wait. The phrase, I don't care who started it, is stupid and unhelpful.
Yes, so we agree with him.
But you just said it does matter who started it.
Yes, but the phrase, I don't care who started it, is unhelpful.
That's probably true. In getting to the bottom of the issue.
Yeah, we have to know who started it.
Well, when it comes to conflict, sometimes you need to forgive.
That's true, but you also need to take responsibility.
I agree. But my segue really was going to get us into the next one.
Sorry.
That's cool. It's fine.
We're working through this with our kid right now, so I'm thinking about it a lot.
Working through what?
We're going to talk about it on here. I love her. She's getting older, so she's just is just getting smarter, but she's also getting older in her feelings, which is great. But I'm going to talk about it for a second.
Okay.
She doesn't always have the best attitude when it comes to doing schoolwork.
Sure.
Or learning something new. It doesn't have to be school, learning something new. And her big thing is when she starts to get in trouble or when she starts to feel like maybe there's tension, she then likes to bring up how she feels. I don't really like when you talk to me that way. Well, I'm only talking to you that way because of the way that you spoke to me. And so do you get to be the one who says, I don't really like when you talk to me that way? The answer is probably yes. And at the same time, it's you did start it. So it doesn't matter. I don't know why we got here. I lost the train.
Because at this point, I do care who started it. And you did.
No, but we're saying that. We say we care about who started it.
Yeah,
but there was a reason why I
realized I haven't said the next one yet. So you don't know the context of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because you said something and I said sometimes or something like that.
We're talking about forgiveness. But to
oh yes,
chime in on what you're saying. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Sorry, I got lost in the monitor with my fingy. To chime in with what you're saying about Brooklyn and the attitude stuff, we are working through that. And you were saying that she'll be like, I don't like the way you said that to me. And we're like, well, it's the 10th time we've asked you nicely to do it and you've ignored it. And so now we're being more stern. This is what's happening. You need to do it.
Yeah.
And you didn't like the way that I said it. Well, I gave you 10 other opportunities.
Yeah.
And we usually tell her, we're like, we'll work on if it's saying things nicely, but did you hear me say it 10 times nicely? And she's always willing to be honest. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how we got here.
It's responsibility for me. And so I do think it matters who started it. I think that's where it's all coming back around to.
Yeah.
Is you got to teach people how to take responsibility. And it matters who started it because the person who started it should take responsibility. And doesn't mean that your feelings can't be hurt in the midst of what's going on. But also you have to be able to apologize for the hurt that you did before you can ask for them to apologize for the hurt that you did.
I agree with that. Hundo P.
Just two wrongs don't make a right. I'm just kidding.
Well, speaking of forgiveness, here's the next one. Sometimes forgiveness needs to be earned. What do you think about that? I'm trying to get out of the context of our family like we've just been talking about.
For sure. I'm trying to bring it into the context of myself.
Yeah.
Forgiveness needs to be earned.
You want to hear my thoughts and you can kind of jump off of them? My thought is it depends on the relationship and it depends on what's happened. If you're married to someone and they cheat on you, it's not just I forgive you and we're fine. It's you do need to, that person does need to have time to come back from that. And that person needs to prove that they're not going to do this again. And I think there's certain instances where it's yeah, of course it needs to be earned.
Yeah. Is there more to your thought?
Sure. But also, I think it depends on what you believe about forgiveness. To take it out of the context of what I just said, I've learned in my life that forgiving people and letting stuff go is actually more beneficial to me as the person who's harboring the hurt than I need it to be for that person. The person who hurt, the people that have hurt me the most, and we've talked about this before, those people are not thinking about me. They're not thinking about the hurt. They're not caring that my feelings were hurt or whatever happened. It's me. And so a lot of the times forgiveness is more important for the person who was hurt. To be able to extend forgiveness or let it go can be more beneficial to the person who was hurt rather than the person who did the hurting. So I think it just depends on where you're looking at it from.
Yeah, I think I fall there. We've talked about this before because I quoted Taylor Swift the last time we did this too.
Taylor who?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, I've heard of her.
Yeah, probably, maybe. But yeah, I fall in that boat, the latter of that. I don't know that everyone deserves to be forgiven.
Yeah.
I got yelled at for this last time too. via messenger on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that everyone needs to be forgiven. I don't know that. I think that there are some things that people decide to do or actions that people decide to take or think, words people decide to say that are unforgivable. And at the end of the day, I think you can let go, but not forget it.
Yeah.
But you can choose to let it go and let that person go. And you don't have to forgive them. Like you said, I think it's more for the other person than it is for you. But I think as the older I get, the more I learn, like, not everyone is for you, and that's okay.
Yeah. And
the older you get, the more responsible you should be and have to be for the words, the actions, and the choices that you choose to make and put out into the world. And if you are choosing to put out something that's negative or hate-filled or bad, I don't need to forgive you for that because you did it intentionally.
Yeah.
You said that thing. We all have a choice to say what we all have. Yeah, we all have the choice to say something of what, or the power to choose what we're going to say or change what we're going to say. And hear me when I say, I do believe that there are times when you say something and you go, oh my goodness, that's like not how I meant that to come out. But that normally happens immediately and isn't like I said this thing and then a couple weeks later you're like, are you still mad for that thing that I said? Come on, I was joking.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the things that hurt people are said to intentionally hurt people because that person just isn't thinking about them. And guess what? Like, I don't have to forgive you. If you hurt me bad enough or you said something that was mean, like, you're probably not someone that needs to be in my life. And I don't.
Do you feel like you still hold on to it though? Like, is there a correlation for you between letting something go and forgiving someone? Or can you let something go without feeling like you need to forgive that person?
I think I'm there, but I also am in therapy. So I'm working through stuff and learning about boundaries. I am someone that's really bad with boundaries. I'm a people pleaser by nature. I'm a 2 on the Enneagram, which is helper. And so I tend to overly help. Sure. And I'm very emotional and sensitive and an empathetic person. So I feel things more. So I think for the majority of my life, I've lived in a world where I feel like I have to forgive people and try to make things. It's my job to make things better and my job to make, even if I didn't cause the problem, if my feelings are hurt or something happened to me, it's my job to make it better. And I think the older I get and the more I go through therapy, the more you and I talk. Truly in my life, there's a handful of people that I feel like I need to forgive and work through things with. And it's my family and my closest friends. That's it. But even in that,
not that you still have stuff to work through.
No, that
would be the obligation if there was something to
like
that
you
needed
and
to be forgiven.
I can't just be like.
I literally thought you were like, my big hurts that I still need to forgive people for are from my family.
No, but I think I'm at a place in my life that I'm like, I'm 32 years old and I'm an adult and I have a 9-year-old who like I'm responsible for and a husband and like my family. And at the end of the day, if you're going to be mean or say something to me or be hurtful, guess what? Like, I don't need you in my life. I don't. And unless you're one of those people that I would take advice from or that like has a place in my life. Most of the people that are in my life now have been in my life for a while or a long time. And like, we can talk about things and like, no, and that's cool. And like, we're good there. Or I know that they have good intentions towards me. And so if they're going to say something to me, they're going to say it in a way that matches the way that I hear things. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm rambling and I know, but like, I think that's where I kind of land. And to answer your question more specifically, I think what I've learned about myself in these last couple of weeks in therapy specifically, as I've gone through boundaries, is that I'm a person that tends to cut ties with people. It's just been my past experience, which I thought was really healthy, and I'm learning is probably not healthy.
It's one of the first things your mom told me when we started dating was that about you. And I was like, interesting. Like, I've not seen that. And it's interesting to hear you articulate it, that it is something that you do.
I don't know that I do that as much now. I think it was more of a younger thing when I had more people in my life. But I can look back and see that I can look back and see that has been a thing, whether it's healthy or not. But like, I think I live in a world where like, you don't have to forgive people. You can choose to let it go and then not forget it. Yeah. And remember, so it doesn't happen again.
Can I sprinkle this in and you can tell me if it's right or wrong for you in your experience? No, don't be
I'm
sorry.
Also actively processing through this question.
Totally. I can see how it's happening, and so am I. You and I have talked about some of like the ends of some of your romantic relationships, as well as the ends of some less of your friendships. For me, I'm wondering that you as a helper, you become unhealthy when you like you hit a place where you've given and given and given and it hasn't been appreciated or reciprocated. You just hit a certain point and something switches for you.
Yeah.
We've both seen it happen for you. We know when it happens. Like we've seen it. And at least with romantic relationships, I can think of at least 2 in my head that you've talked to me about where you were like, everything was going the way that it was until one day I just decided like, no, like it's over today. And you've even said like some things I wish I would have maybe finessed a little bit more nicely or not been so like, I don't know, take people off guard or whatever. But I wonder if it's that the 2 part of you that goes like, I can deal with a lot of stuff, but once I hit that point, like it's done.
Yeah.
So should I be worried?
No.
Okay.
No, you and I communicate really well, and we've each gone through therapy individually to, I think, work through some of this stuff.
But do you think that's a part of it is like, you feel like you can cut people off because you hit a point where you're like, and today I'm done with it?
I think that in the midst of some of those things, I think there had been conversations that things were communicated and like no change had been made.
Yeah.
So I also
including friendships and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. Friendships is like a different thing for me. There's one friendship in particular that I think about when I think about like when you say cutting people off.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of things that I could have forgiven and can forgive. Talking poorly about someone behind your back is not one of those things.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think
about.
For me, like you can say something wrong to me or mean to me if we've been friends for a while and we can like talk about it and I can tell you how that hurt my feelings or whatever. But the moment that you talk crap about me behind my back, that's when I'm like, oh, you just showed me your true colors.
Right.
You know, and hear me, we all like, I think it's true of everyone. Like nobody in your life is like a perfect person that you don't have any issue with. I think we all have issues with people. I know that you and I talk about people in our life and like maybe how our feelings are hurt or like they did something we didn't like or with each other. Like you did this thing, I didn't like it or whatever, even with our daughter or my parents or whatever. It doesn't matter. I think that's normal. But when you're in big group settings and people are talking about one specific person and like really talking crap about them and like saying some mean things that you know are not true and then you choose to like contribute to that, that's something that I can't forgive. And that unfortunately has happened to me quite a few times, specifically in the Christian culture and world, which you wouldn't think would happen, but it's a very real thing. So
tell us if you want more of this type of conversation, but much more unfiltered and much more explicit. Hardly working through it. Hardly walking through it.
Hardly working through it. But yeah, so I.
So to get back to just to kind of put a bow on this whole thing, sometimes forgiveness needs to be earned. Your take on it is less about whether it needs to be earned or not and whether or not it's even needed.
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. I think only you as an individual can decide how you want to forgive or let people back into your life. But I think I land in a boat of like, if someone really needs forgiveness in a way that's like bigger than like, I forgive you for like hurting my feelings in the moment. Like you ate the last of the ice cream or like we got upset I think about you and I in particular, like we got in a tiff or something happened.
You get really mad when I eat the last of the ice cream. That's true. Which has never happened.
No, but you know what I mean? Like we can argue and have disagreements and our feelings can get hurt. And I think that's different. I think if it's something that's big enough to be like, oh, they need to earn back your forgiveness, that person probably wasn't that great of a friend or whatever in your life. And so do they really deserve that? I don't know. Only you can decide that. I think I stand in a boat where I go, if you've done something to hurt me that bad that you're trying to earn back my forgiveness, you're probably not going to get it. We'll probably be okay or figure out how to be just okay.
Yeah.
But we're probably never going to be the way that we were.
Yeah.
And I'm as someone who's like older now, I think I have very little space and time for people in my life. So I'm not always about adding new people because there's only so much that I can give between like my family, like my immediate family, and then my parents and my brothers and your mom and your sister. Like, that's important. So if you're not going to be nice and kind, or if you're not going to be a cheerleader for me, like I'm going to be for you, then I don't want you in my life. And I don't know that I need to forgive you. We can be okay.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not going to let you back into a space that's like, let me share my personal like feelings or how I really feel about this. It's like, maybe I'll see you at like a holiday party or something, but like, I don't know. It's hard to articulate, but
for sure, because it's one of those things where it's like life's too short to not forgive and let things go, and at the same time, life is too short to go out of your way to make sure someone who hurt you feels like they've been forgiven. Like that seems like a them problem to me. Yeah. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Yeah.
Well, I think that seems like a good time
to pause.
Yeah.
Or some might say stop.
Yeah.
Well, that is episode number 1 of season 5 of Hardly Working. Tune in next week for our 1-year anniversary episode. I can't even believe it. I'm excited to do it. Things that I'm looking forward to. Comic-Con this week.
I'm jealous. I won't be there.
I will. If you're down there and hearing this, come check me out. I'll be with Marvel Studios and probably walking around the floor and stuff too. So I'll be there. It'll be very fun.
Yep.
And then that is all that I'm doing this week because it is like all week long. Anything you're looking forward to?
Getting time with my mom. I have a girls' date planned at the end of this week, and then I'm going to a walkthrough in Montecito again. Another walkthrough. But I get to see some of my vendor friends out there, so that's always exciting.
You get to Cito. Montecito. Your friends in Montecito.
Yes.
Nice. Well, staying busy, staying awesome. I was gonna say hot, but I was like, it's just so hot in California.
So
right now.
Don't be hot. We'll be
it's
cool.
So hot, staying cool, baby. Did we talk about Hallmark last time?
We did.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Everything is going so fast.
That's true.
It's hard to keep track. But anyway, we love you. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks to anybody who's jumping in right now for the first time from TikTok or Instagram. Make sure you remember that anytime you want to follow us, hit us up, send us stories, unpopular opinions, even thoughts. You can do that at either of those on Instagram or TikTok at It's Hardly Working. There's some other pages there, so don't get confused. They look a lot like us, but they're not ours. That's at It's Hardly Working. But until then, hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week for our 1-year anniversary episode. Woo-hoo! Until then, we love you. We mean it. We hope you spend most of your time
hardly working. Bye. Hello and working. All right, I'm here.
You want to just take it from there? Why not?
No, I'm ready.